Hello and welcome back to Night Call. We currently have a robot in our taxi, calling again into question of just when the hell this is set. But well, I guess we'll figure that out as we go. Either way, she is running away because she's trying to find a purpose in life, I think. Because her programming has given her lots of cultural perspective, but no kind of end goal. And she's now talking about, essentially, humans being replaced by robots. The passenger continues her story, her voice tinged with an odd, unpleasant note. You never thought the day would come when a machine would condescend to you, and yet... Human society is governed by the need to rationalize its workforce, issues of error, regime, and culture aside. Is a basic law of nature. The stage is set by questions of economy. And that's why you pull up to the Gare Montparnasse. I have to disappear, me and all my kind, so I've stolen the plans and destroyed all the data on me. Banknotes have appeared in her hand as if by magic. She hands you the fare. Because your salvation depends on my disappearing. Well, anyhow, goodbye and good luck to you. Don't forget what I've told you about us, and start investing in your own. The machine climbs out of the cab and makes its way over to the station. No one seems to notice her. A moment later, she's gone. You sit there a while, unsettled, on edge. At times like these, there's only one thing to do. You roll down the window. The cold air of Paris bites your face, and you gulp in the fine particles and diesel exhaust. You start up the cab. Well, that was sad. So it's time to get back home. I don't think we got any more clues today. It's a bit rough, but we'll have to see how it goes, won't we? You met Xavier. Made a bit of profit. Eesh, but our losses are starting to eat in a bit. That's what you get for taxiing Hervé. Yep, we know, look at our bed and get to work. Yeah. We haven't really got much else, have we? Nothing on the desk, is there? No. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You lie down on the sofa bed. Its frame creaks. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed. Your body aches, and you're in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. Yeah, we've been through this. You don't quite know where you are anymore. To be honest, you're completely lost. Shake your head, and your mind wanders for a second. And a question comes to mind. Very odd one. So why'd you need to say it out loud to be sure you're not dreaming? Was that really Santa Claus? You lie there for a moment, listening to the echo of your own voice resonating around your studio apartment. The silence lulls you. Suddenly you're asleep. Okay. This might be the last night. Get up quickly. Okay. It's all the same bump. Night 6. I feel like I was hamstrung just because I couldn't visit these places. Just for whatever reason, it just cut straight back without letting me do anything. Hopefully that glitch doesn't cost me it. We shall see, I guess. Alright, let's go for someone close by. You seem closest. The words, I can sense them. They're calling me. Okay. The next passenger immediately raises her hand. Drive. I don't care where, I just need you to drive. Start driving. You turn the key in the ignition. Yes, there, good. Keep going this way. Her deep, full voice makes you slightly uncomfortable. With closed eyes, she seems like she's in a place far from the backseat of your taxi. When she starts speaking, there's an odd whistle in her voice, like she has a hole in one of her teeth. Slow down. frail or fragile? Bit surprised, you look at her back in the mirror. Answer me, frail or fragile? I'm not sure. Don't think about it. Just say the first one that comes to your mind. Frail or fragile? Fragile. Odd. I wouldn't have thought that of you. After all, a frailty applies more to humans than to objects. A whistle in her voice crackles for a second. Both words actually have the same root. A smile spreads across her face. 2 words, 2 units. And life went on, and words mixed once again. She pauses. You okay? She doesn't hear your question because she starts to scream. Go down this street and stop. You stop. You speed up in the quiet street. The cold weather has driven away all the passers-by. Yeah, there. Yes, good. I've got it. She cries out with joy and it resonates in the cab. I've got it. Look, the words are right there. They're wandering past us like sheep, like... She explodes with laughter. Oh, I didn't see that little boy. Don't know what I said. She silences you with a wave of her hand. Now, I must write. She closes her eyes. Her fingers stroke imaginary upholstery. The frail are forced into battle. Together come the children, a son and daughter, standing tall to salute. They will cry. Oh yes, they will cry. The eaglets fly behind. The frail will say. Your passenger freezes. When she opens her eyes again, she stares at you. What happens when you sleep? She's waiting for your answer. I have nightmares. She tilts her head to the side just a bit. No, that's a lie and you know it. And what happens when you drive? I make a living. Exactly. You give your time to others. She laughs strangely, almost a snicker, as her eyelids droop. And the son will say, Frail father, I want you to come back to life. And the daughter will say, Frail father, I want you to come back a winner. The whistle in her voice grates on your ears. The father responds, You must choose, as the eaglet lands upon his shoulder. Together they fly off. And thus all began. Fragile, frail, 2 paths that can't be fooled. The son and daughter will grow up, though not at the same pace. When early one morning, 20 years later, they wake up, they wake to the sound of a bugle. The sound will be beaten, churned and clubbed, until he wakes from a 1,000-year nightmare. What the hell is going on? A nightmare that kneaded together earth and life, and brought into the world a dream for the daughter and the son. May they learn to live again without their father. Frail and fragile. Frail is fragile. She catches her breath. 11 years. I've been writing this poem for 11 years. 11 years? Ah yes, 11 years. For 11 years I've been trying to finish the text. It's filled with so much. It's infused with my entire life. Its lungs are swollen with my tears. Her breathing is now quite irregular. And it was all waiting right there, in this street, right in front of me. She giggles. Thank you. She sighs and places a few bills in front of you, far more than the fare. Stop here and... We pull the cab over. Keep everything. I have nothing more. She gets out of the taxi without a peep. She walks away without responding to your call. It seems to you that it's only an impression, but it looks like she's getting smaller and smaller with each step. Darkness swallows her and you sit there, a bit shaken by her poem. You pick up the money. Something falls at your feet. You grab onto a small shiny white seashell with your fingers. You look at it a second without saying a single word. 11 years. The idea makes its way into your brain. You take a minute and drive off. That wasn't much, but it was something. Okay. Let's get some fuel. Familiar smell tickles your nose. Oh, here he is again. You turn around just in time to see a little ghost appear on the back seat of your taxi. He remains still as he watches you. Nice to see you again, my friend. You sigh. Him again. His presence makes you ill at ease, but you stop trying to find an explanation for his apparitions. You start driving. 53 Rue de la Grange à Boulet, my friend. Belle, maybe Boulet, I don't know. You pause, looking at him inquisitively in the rearview mirror. What is there in the Rue de la Grange au Boulet? He smiles. There is death in its truest form. You see, at night the streets fill with the spirits of horses. Before my time, they used to be cut to pieces there. They cut their heads right off. Swish! He seems quite pleased with his performance. There was mud, like pudding almost. The poorest coming to glean a piece of meat or bone to chew on had to trudge through it. Splotch squelch. His silhouette seems to flutter for a second, as if it were the sound wave for laughter. People came from quite far to steal a chunk of meat, a bit of skin. The abandoned carcasses attracted flies. People gathered the larvae to go fishing in the Seine or in Bondy. The flies drew swallows. Folks came on Sundays to shoot rifles at the flock of birds. A short pause. My mother once took me there to show me the gallows. She told me that this is where traitors were sent to die. I nodded and was shocked by the stench of that place. I miss my mother, so, you know. Do you miss your mother too? Yes. Gotta make friends with him after all. Is she dead? Yes. Did she ever take you to see a gallows? He breaks into laughter. I'm being a bother. The little ghost starts speaking in a joyful tone once again. My mother loved taking me for strolls. She pulled me by my arm through all of Paris, stopping in front of a building, a market, a dump. She would say, "See now," I can still hear her voice. "See now, that's how you end up if you don't do all your chores. If you don't learn your lessons at school. If you don't listen to your father." And she usually gave me a perfunctory smack. His silhouette flutters, as if he were receiving the blow. Stop here. The horses are angry this evening. Something is getting on their nerves. He sighs. His presence is making you feel particularly ill at ease. My mother never understood why I joined the comrades, the commune, the cherries. His silhouette starts to flutter. She thought I was being young and stupid. The fluttering intensifies. You can barely make out the little ghost's silhouette. Barricades, dead horses, hanged. His silhouette freezes. He looks over at you. I personally think I'm lucky to have died for something I believe in, rather than to live for nothing. A shiver runs up your spine. Like you. The next minute, the ghost has vanished. His voice still resonates in the cab. Like you. You turn the wheel and pull over to collect yourself. You breathe. This little ghost is going to do you in. You could at least give me more clues about the killer. Well, lots of people. No people that we... No important people. But we've got our hit vigilante here, so maybe we'll continue chatting to him and he'll give us some info. Maybe that's it. Maybe we've just been doing like we should have been going for the same people over and over again or something. You pull up next to the sidewalk in a calm, nondescript alleyway. No sign of your passenger. The cobblestones gleam calmly underneath the street lamps. A cat jumps from one building to another. Two men are fighting in the shadows. You sit up abruptly. Something is shining in the darkness. One of those Japanese sabers just reflected off a street lamp. You put your hand on the door handle, ready to run. One saber falls to the ground and the sound rings through the alley. One of the two men crumples. The other walks towards your taxi with determination. the very last minute, just as the door about to open, you recognise the passenger from before. The one who thinks he's a superhero. We can go. Same address as last time. He appears to be out of breath, but his voice is calm and poised. What about the other guy? I'll tell you in a minute. First, start driving. The police are on their way, and I don't want to run into them. Neither do you. I don't want to get you mixed up in all this. Put your foot on the accelerator. Behind you in the rearview mirror, you can see lights in several apartments flick on. Apparently the fight woke up some of the neighbours. Aye. He stops out of breath. What the hell is going on? He tenses his muscles, his chest inflates. He catches his breath. In the space of a few seconds, his heartbeat has returned to normal. I'm sorry, but... Another deep breath. I think I shit my pants a little. Hard to say since he has a mask on, but you're pretty sure he's looking you straight in the eyes. But don't you worry, there are no marks. I was just so scared. When he pulled his katana out, man, I was like, that's it, it's over. You had a good life and now he's going to cut you up like a turkey. But actually I handled it. He pauses, nods. You sense him sitting up straighter. Yeah, I handled it. I handled the hell out of it. But what happened? I'm investigating a sort of organization. Like mob types, you know. They're forcing kids to work in this squat. They're sorting through jewellery, wallets. Sometimes they're sent out to panhandle. Girls are sent to... I mean, you get the gist, right? But the police aren't doing anything about it. Typical, you think? You nod. I don't know. I think there's something else to it. First off, the kids aren't French. The organisation is tied to the Albanians and this not-so-nice German guy. They have ties with extreme right-wing organisations with connections to 2 police captains. They came to get the photos. I want to alert the press. Outside, an ambulance crosses your path. No sirens, no lights. It almost looks like a moving van. And while I was going about my business, that guy jumped me with his katana. It scared me to death. He pauses for a while. His body is radiating heat. Any hotter and he'd start to smoke. You okay? It takes him a moment to respond. I'm okay, I swear. He clears his throat. What I'm about to say will probably sound pretty weird, okay? Another breath. This one is deep and long, almost moving. Since I've been chasing this organisation down, I really feel like I'm doing something useful. Like I can really make a difference. And shit, that makes it all worth it. He pauses. Would it be okay if I just got some shut-eye for the rest of the trip? I think I need to. He falls asleep mid-sentence. You crack your window to let some fresh air in. The trip continues with you in silence. You at the wheel and the masked hero in the back seat. What if you'd taken martial arts classes? What if you'd known how to defend yourself? Maybe that night. You shake your head. There's no point thinking about it. He or she snuck up on you. Attacked you from behind. You still have about 10 minutes left before reaching your destination. New Willy. New Willy always has the same effect on you. One of surprise. A surprise to be reminded that this town next to Paris. Calm, pointless, unremarkable. Boring as hell. At long last, you pull up in front of the driveway you dropped your passenger off at last time. He wakes with a start. Already? You grin. Yes, already. I could have slept for about 20 more hours. He glances at your dashboard. I have an essay to turn in 6 hours from now. Wish me luck. Good luck. Thank you. He sighs and stretches for a while. Something in his neck cracks. Anyway, shower, breakfast, essay, sleep. That's the plan. He pays the fare and rushes into his building a few seconds later. You sit still, alone. Once the coast is clear, you check the back seat. Check the back seat to make sure it's clean. It is. No trace of blood. You sigh in relief and drive off. There we go. A bit of cash again, not much. Gonna need more fuel soon. Where's this lawyer bloke going to show up? Well, there's the old dude again. We'll maybe grill him for some more. He's my prime suspect. But we will have to do that next episode. So, thank you very, very much for watching. I feel like we're drawing to some sort of conclusion, even though I'm absolutely not sure about any of my evidence. But we will see where we go. So, thank you very much for watching. If you like my content, please do check out my other videos. And if you do, I shall see you there. Goodbye.